Hey you guys, welcome to my channel Made by B Jax. I'm Brittany Jackson and today I'm super excited to show you how to make this spiderweb crop top little bralette looking thing. I have spent months trying to figure out how to turn a spiderweb into a triangle, but first I would like to show you where I got my inspiration from, so let's go all the way to my handy dandy Pinterest. This is where I found this beautiful number, which is by the clothing brand Killstar. Now clicking on this image, they no longer offer this top and there's no pattern available for it, so I did everything I could to study this pattern and try to figure out the structure of it so that I can make my own. And what I noticed is that they had 8 points on their spider web and somehow they turned that into 3 corners. 8 is not divisible by 3. I don't know how they did that. So with this design I did 12 points, which is divisible whatever by 3. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys the amount of shit that I had to go through to create this pattern. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Now let's go ahead and get started. Here's a quick look at all the materials I used to make this project. To begin, go ahead and create your slip knot, and the first thing we're going to do is chain 4. After you've chained 4, you're going to slip stitch into the very first chain that you made. This is going to create a little ring that we'll be working into. Next, chain up 3. This chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet 11 more times into this ring, leaving us with 12 double crochet total. Also, make sure you're crocheting over this tail as you go. I'm going to speed up the footage for the rest of this row, but I'll meet you towards the end to show you how to finish this row off. After you've made all 12 double crochet into your ring, you are going to slip stitch into that third chain that you made at the beginning of this row. That completes row 1 of our spider web. For the next row, we're going to chain up 5. These first 3 count as a double crochet. Next, double crochet into the very next stitch. You should have something that looks like this little V-stitch. Next, chain 2, double crochet into the next stitch, and repeat this all around until you reach the end, chaining 2 and double crocheting into every stitch. You should have 12 double crochet total. I've just left my last double crochet. Now all I have to do is leave my last chain 2, and starting from the bottom, I'm counting up to the 3rd chain. That's the top of my double crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch into that 3rd chain. And that completes row 2 of our spider web. For the next row, we're going to chain up 7. These first 3 count as a double crochet, and these next 4 chains are what we're going to be chaining in between every double crochet. So next, double crochet on top of the next double crochet from the previous row. Chain 4, and then repeat double crochet on the next double crochet from the previous row. So basically every row is going to increase with 2 more chains than the previous row. Right now I'm leaving my last double crochet and chaining 4. Now I'm going to find the third chain and slip stitch into that because that's the top of my double crochet. And that completes our third row of our spider web. If you are a size extra small, like an A cup or a small B cup, then this is where you should stop. But if you are about a small medium, then we're going to do one more row. So this row is going to contain 6 chains in between every double crochet. So chain up 9. Skip the next 4 chains and double crochet on top of the next double crochet from the previous row. Next, chain 6 and repeat. Continue this pattern all the way around and I'll meet you towards the end. I just left my last double crochet. Next, I'm going to chain 6, find the third chain where we began, and slip stitch into that third chain, and that completes row 4 of our spider web. I'm going to stop increasing my spider web now because I'm making a size small medium, but if you are a large, then you're going to add 1 more row. And if you're an extra large, add 2 more rows. After you've made your spiderweb as wide as you need it to be for your coverage, we're going to start forming it into a triangle. So to begin, we're going to chain up 5. The first 4 chains count as a triple crochet, and then there's going to be a chain 1 in there. Next, we're going to triple crochet into the same exact stitch. So this should leave us with a very tall looking V-stitch. Next, you're going to chain half the amount of chains that you did on your previous row. So my last row had 6 chains in between every double crochet, therefore I am going to chain 3. So if you are also making a size small medium, just follow along with me. Next, we're going to do a double crochet V-stitch into the next stitch, so leave 1 double crochet, chain 1, and then 1 more double crochet all into that same stitch. This is the same for all sizes. Alright, next we're going to do our chains again, so I'm chaining 3, chain the proper amount for your size, which is half of the chains you did on the previous row. And then we're going to leave a half double crochet V-stitch on the next stitch. So that's a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet into the next stitch. Make your chains again, so I'm chaining 3. And then we're going to do a double crochet V-stitch. So that's 1 double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all into the same stitch. Here's what your work should be looking like so far. We're about to do a full corner next. So do your chains, I'm chaining 3. And then we're going to triple crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, and then triple crochet again into the same stitch. You should have what looks like a very tall V-stitch. Next we're going to chain 3, this is for all sizes, and then do another triple crochet chain 1, and triple crochet again. So you should have 2 really tall triple crochet V-stitches with a chain 3 separating them, all into the same exact stitch. That creates our corner. The rest of this row is basically a repeat that we've already been through, but I'm still going to walk you through the steps. So next, make your chains. I'm chaining 3, and then we're going to leave a double crochet V-stitch into the next stitch. So that's 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, all into the same stitch. Make your chains again. Next, we're going to leave a half double crochet V-stitch. So that's 1 half double crochet, chain 1, and then another half double crochet, all into the same stitch. Make your chains again, and then do a double crochet V-stitch. So 1 double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Make your chains again. And now we're going to do another corner, so that's 1 triple crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, triple crochet into the same stitch. Chain 3, triple crochet into the same stitch. Chain 1, and then leave your last triple crochet into that same stitch. Make your chains. After that, we're leaving a double crochet V-stitch. Make your chains again. After that, we're leaving a half double crochet V-stitch. Make your chains again. After that, we're making a double crochet V-stitch. We have reached the corner where we first started at, so what we need to do to complete this corner is make your chains. So I'm chaining 3, and then we're going to triple crochet into that first stitch where we started at. Chain 1, triple crochet into the same stitch. Chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch into the 4th stitch from the bottom, making sure that there's that chain 1 in between. So that's how you shape a spider web into a triangle. So after you've gotten your first bra cup done, we're going to chain 1 and cut our yarn off here. After this, you'll need to make a second triangle identical to your first one, and do not cut your yarn on the second one. We're gonna need to keep working with that yarn, so do not cut it. I've just finished making my second triangle, and I have them both laid out here where the fronts are facing up and the tails are to the left. Now what we're going to do is single crochet all along the side of our bra cup and then connect them together, and then continue single crocheting along the other bra cup and then all the way along the bottom. After we do that, we're gonna add the scalloped edging, and then we'll start building onto the body. So getting started, I'm gonna go ahead and scoot this other one out of the way until I'm ready for it. So I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet on top of this triple crochet, single crochet into the chain space, and then single crochet on top of the next triple crochet. And since I have a chain 3 coming up, I'm going to leave 3 single crochet along it. I'm not crocheting into any particular chain itself, I'm just crocheting over those chains. So continue single crocheting into every stitch and chain all along the side until you reach your first corner space. I'll meet you whenever you get to that point to show you how to continue single crocheting. I've approached my corner space, so what I'm going to do here is leave 1 single crochet, chain 2, and then another single crochet all into that same corner space. Next, continue single crocheting into every stitch and chain all the way along the side until you approach your next corner space. There, I'm going to show you how to connect the triangles together. I've approached my next chain 3 corner space, so what I'm going to do is leave 1 single crochet into that chain space, and then I'm going to take the other bra cup, making sure the front is facing up. I'm going to pinch these corners together and single crochet underneath both of them. After that, I'm going to move on to the next bra cup and single crochet 1 time into that same chain 3 corner space. Next, you're basically going to do a repeat of what you did on the first bra cup. The only thing different is that you're going to be single crocheting over this tail. I've approached my chain 3 corner space, so here I'm going to leave 1 single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet all into that same chain space. Continue single crocheting all along the side, around this corner, and across the bottom, and I'll meet you once we reach the center point. Once you reach the center, you're going to single crochet once into this chain 3 space, and then you're going to single crochet into both of the corners, after that single crochet 1 time into the next corner, and then continue single crocheting all along the bottom of the second bra cup until you reach the end. I've approached the corner space where we first began, and I'm going to leave one single crochet, chain 2, and one more single crochet all into that same corner space. Next, I'm going to slip stitch into this very first single crochet that we made. Here's what your work should be looking like so far. Next, we're going to begin working on the scalloped edging. From here, we are going to chain 1, skip the first stitch, and half double crochet 4 times into the next stitch. Skip the next stitch and then slip stitch into the stitch after that. Next, you're going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet 4 times into the stitch after that. You're going to repeat this pattern all the way along the side until you reach the corner of your bra cup. I've reached the tip of my bra cup. Here's what my work looks like so far. Now, what I'm going to do in this chain 2 space that I have in my corner, I'm going to leave 5 half double crochet all into that same chain 2 space. After that, continue your scallop pattern as normal. Continue this all the way down until you reach the center point between both of your bra cups. I've reached the center point here for my bra cup, so what I'm going to do is leave one single crochet into the next stitch. Then I'm going to skip the next stitch and single crochet into the stitch after that. From here, I'm going to continue my scallop pattern like normal, so I'm going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet 4 times into the stitch after that. Since this is going to be a repeat of the first bra cup, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the footage for the rest of this, and I'll meet you towards the end. Right now, I'm leaving my very last scallop. Now I'm going to slip stitch into my chain 2 here in the corner. Then I'm going to single crochet into that same chain 2. Now I'm going to chain 1, pull my yarn through, and cut off my yarn here. Here's what your work should be looking like so far. Next, we're going to begin working on the torso, so grab your yarn again and create a slip knot. Here I'm going to chain 10. After you have chained 10, we are going to insert our hook into the very last stitch that we made on our bra cup. Here we're going to leave a single crochet, which should connect our chain 10 to our bra cup. Next, continue single crocheting all along the bottom while also crocheting over this tail while you work. I'm going to speed up the footage for the rest of this row, but I'll slow down towards the end to show you how to finish this row off. I've just finished single crocheting all along the bottom. Here's what my work looks like so far. Next, I need to chain 11. Single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then continue single crocheting all the way down until you reach the opposite end. Here's what your work should look like after your second row of single crochet along the body. Next, we're just going to do a basic mesh pattern. So from here, we're going to chain 4. The first 3 chains counts as a double crochet and then a chain 1. Turn your work over. Skip the first 2 stitches and then double crochet into the 3rd stitch. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet into the stitch after that. Continue this pattern all along the bottom, and I'll meet you towards the end to show you how to finish this row off. I'm towards the end of my row here, and I'm leaving my last chain 1 and double crochet into the very last stitch. Here's what my work looks like so far. Next, we're going to do a row of just half double crochet stitches. So chain 1, turn your work over, half double crochet into the very first stitch, half double crochet into the chain space after that, and repeat, making sure that you half double crochet into every stitch and chain all along this row until you reach the end. Once you reach your very last chain space, you're going to leave 2 half double crochet all into that same space. That completes row 4 of our body. Here's what our work should be looking like so far. Next, we're going to do another row of mesh and then another row of half double crochets. So chain up 4, turn your work, double crochet into the 3rd stitch, which should align with the double crochet from the previous row. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet, Continue this pattern all the way down until you reach the end. I've just finished my 5th row. Here's what my work looks like. Next, I'm going to do another row of this half double crochet, but I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera and give you an update. Here's what it looks like once I was finished. Next, I'm going to do another row of the mesh stitch. I'm going to do that off camera as well. Here's what that looks like once I was finished. This is as long as I'm going to make my torso for my bralette. However, you can make yours as long as you would like. From here, I'm just going to chain 1, pull my yarn through completely, and cut it off right here. Next, I need to weave my tails in. I'm going to do that off camera, but I'll go ahead and tell you where. I'll just be weaving them through this half double crochet row, and then this one right here in this single crochet row. Next, I'm going to quickly demonstrate how I weave in the tails in the center of my spider web. Once all of your tails are weaved in, we're going to begin working on the straps. Now for the straps, I like to double strand my yarn for this to make sure that it is sturdy. So what I do is pull about 6 feet of the yarn. And then double stranding this yarn, I'm going to create a little loop. Next, I'm going to insert my hook into the 3rd stitch of my 5 half double crochet here at the top. I'm going to latch this yarn onto my hook and pull it through. Next, I'm going to insert my hook a little bit lower into that same stitch, pull my yarn through, and then slip stitch. From here, I'm going to chain up 80. After you've chained 80, go ahead and cut your yarn and pull it through completely. And here you can take these 2 strings and tie them together in a knot. I like to double knot it right here just to make sure it's super secure. And then any of the excess string left over from your knots, you can go ahead and snip those off. Keep any of the excess yarn that you had left over from your strap. We can use this for the tassels later, but go ahead and repeat the same exact thing on the opposite side, and this is what your work should look like once you're finished. This could be a good stopping point if you like the way it looks. However, I'm going to continue adding the row of tassels down here at the bottom. So what I like to do is use a piece of cardboard the length I would like my tassels to be, and I just wrap my yarn around it about 3 to 4 times. Of course, you can make your tassels thicker by just wrapping this around a few more times, but after you get your desired thickness, go ahead and cut at the bottom. Make sure you cut through all of your strings. And what I like to do from here is take my hook and insert it into the square where my tassel will be. And then with my fingers, I just pinch it through like a little slip knot and then pull it through completely. I'm going to finish adding the rest of these tassels off camera, but I will be doing every other square along the bottom. I'm not adding a tassel in every square, just every other square. Here's what it looked like once I was finished. Now the very last thing we have to do to complete this project is make our strap to lace up in the back. So what I did was a chain of 200. That was not long enough. I should have done 250, maybe 300 chains since this is a weight 3 yarn. So I would recommend doing a chain of 250 for your back strap. After you've made your chain, go ahead and lace it up in the back, and you are done making your spiderweb bralette. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you love what you made for yourself or for your friends or for your clients even. So yeah, if you enjoyed this tutorial, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe, and please tag me in all of your posts. I want to see it. I want to see what you made. I want to see it. I want to see how it's worn and everything. Tag me. All right. See y'all next time. Love y'all. Bye.